So I've seen a lot of reviews praising this particular movie on Rotten Tomatoes everywhere. Every single review, you must find one saying, "Oh, this is a masterpiece. This is a wonderful movie." So I decided to go and read the plot, and I found it very interesting. So I went ahead to give it a watch. But then, after watching it, I don't know if my mouth can say what I feel, even though I'm going to say it in this particular review. Now, guys, welcome to my channel. Today, I'll be reviewing a movie, and it is titled Anora. It is showing on Prime Video, and it is a movie by Sean Baker. Let us get right into the review. So in this movie, a lady called Annie or Anora, she is an adult worker in a strip club, and she is one of the customers' favorites. And then she gets in contact with this rich, spoiled kid that is all over the place, spending money, throwing big parties, and he just needs an escort for the week. So Annie happens to be his escort for the week, and it's as if this Cinderella story is coming into play. It's like a fairy tale, an adult worker that meets a rich guy that's has thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to spend, and they spend a lot of time together. There's this budding romance, because it's not true romance, and they're just overwhelmed with the fun they're having at that particular time, and it leads them to make the decision to get married in Vegas. And you know what happens in Vegas? Whatever happens in Vegas ends right there in Vegas, and that is exactly what this movie is all about. So they get married, with the whole ride of the moment. They, what they call it, there's something they call it impulsive. Yeah, it was an impulsive decision to get married, and they're just having fun, they're happy. But reality dawns on them when the parents of this rich kid hears about the marriage all the way in Russia. So the guy is a Russian, and his parents hear about the marriage, and everybody is freaking out, and they're like, that marriage cannot happen. It has already happened, but then they wanted it to, get annulled and stuff like that. And this girl is still wrapped in the bubble of the whole fairy tale going ahead. She doesn't snap back to reality quite quickly, and she's still in that bubble. She's still calling him her husband, even though I never saw the love. Yeah, there was no love, but then you could see that she was really trying to push that marriage and stick to it, and probably see what will come out of it. But then I think that she is sort of a gold digger that is choked down our truth. She's a gold digger because it was in her eyes, and I could see it, and it was as if they were trying to make a gold digger look like the heroine of the movie. I don't know, I don't understand the thoughts behind the storyline, but then yeah, she was still, like, my husband, I'm not getting the divorce, I'm not getting an annulment, blah blah blah. And the parents of this boy come down to America to annul the marriage. So if you watch the movie, you're going to find out how everything played out, but it is like a Cinderella story, a fairy tale movie gone wrong, sort of. If you watch it, you know what I mean. Now, all over the internet, people are praising this particular girl. I mean, the girl that played Annie. People are like, oh, she's Oscar worthy. She's the best actress. She did this and that. I don't know how. I don't know what people are seeing. But then I think the worst actor in this particular movie is the parents of this guy. Because what was that acting? Especially the mother. And then the male lead himself, that is this guy, Vanya, Ivan, yeah, that's his name, Vanya. I think he's a terrible actor, very horrible acting, and I think that his acting was so weird. I found it cute, like in the beginning of the story, the first act of the story. I found him cute. First of all, I was like, what kind of character is this? Then I found him cute. Then I found him weird, and he was just acting like a psycho. I don't know. His character just threw me off at some point. He was so childish, and I realized that he was actually a child. I was thinking that the storyline would take this direction of a young rich guy that just wants to have an experience of wildlife, but then it wasn't that. Initially they started with this hookah lifestyle. I thought they would lean more towards that, but we took a completely different direction. And yeah, I think that his acting was horrible, and most of the acting was average and nothing really spectacular. All the characters in this movie lacked enough development. They didn't have enough detail. They were not three-dimensional, and so I found it very hard to emotionally connect to the characters and also find any reasonable redemption for their actions or whatever they did, including Annie, because it was, like I said, a gold digger trying to play the heroine. I understand her point of view actually. At the end of the movie, we saw a little emotional, whatever, but it didn't really make much impact because it was already the end. And whatever message they were trying to pass throughout the movie probably happened at the very last scene, and it was a bummer. Do I need to say that there is a lot of nudity and wacky action scenes, if you know what I mean? Unnecessary, just for the heck of it. They just inserted those scenes there. Look, if I wanted to watch corn, I know where to find corn videos. But you see, this particular movie, it was unnecessary. Just inserted those scenes for the sake of it. And I don't know, maybe that's why people loved it. Some people loved it because they were probably intrigued by the whole nudity they were seeing. So they think that when you act such kind of movie, you've automatically done something, you've automatically done a masterpiece, or you've done something extraordinary. Oh, cut that crap off. I can't believe that people are talking about this movie being an Oscar contender. What is the standard for Oscar movies? Hello, what is actually the standard for a movie? Is the Oscars that cheap to settle for this? How is this movie an Oscar? Maybe an Oscar contender for the worst movie of the year, because what is this? This movie is completely empty, a pointless piece of trash that deserves what kind of Oscar, please? And to think that this movie is about 2 hours 18 minutes long. And for what? 2 hours long. And for what? They use it to chase Ivania. Okay, there was this part where Vanya left his wife and ran away, and they were looking for him. It felt like a filler chapter of a bad romance fiction, because they chased him. They were even the comedy part safe. This movie, I thought it was something serious until I actually read about it in the description and saw that it's under comedy. I was like, oh, no wonder it's a bunch of shitty scenes, because that part completely unnecessary. Maybe that's why it even took 2 hours and 18 minutes of my time, my precious time on earth that I would never get back. Rubbish. There were a lot of repeated scenes. They were literally doing the same thing all over again, probably in a different what's it called, set, but then it's still the same thing. They were just repeating those scenes, and they were just inserting other unnecessary scenes here and there. Personally, I think that this movie, personally, from the bottom of my heart, I think that this movie is a very horrible movie, and I don't know why there is so much hype over around it. It's overrated. I think it's just horrible, because why can't people just see that this movie is such a bad movie? How? Anyways, that is the end of this review. I'm so pissed. I need to watch a better movie. I need to watch a good movie to calm down from the please. That is the end of this review. Peace.